How's it going today, guys? In today's episode, I'm going to continue sharing my conversation with ChatGPT with you guys about the pioneer farmer houses in the area. And I'm going to continue where I left off. I asked ChatGPT, what would a farmer have to start doing right now in the year 2025 and into the future to prepare for everything that's coming and even thrive and survive on the farm in spite of AgriCorp and the machines? Also, I would like this answer given to me in a 3,000 word in depth analysis. So ChatGPT responded, all right, here's the full draft. Surviving the Silent Fields: How Farmers Can Thrive in the Age of Corporations and Machines. An analysis for 2025 and beyond. Introduction. The horizon is shifting. Across the plains, valleys, and high desert fields, fewer farmers work more acres than ever before. Tractor cabs now glow with screens instead of sweat. Drones trace grid patterns above wheat, corn, and soy. Artificial intelligence adjusts irrigation valves in real time, deciding with cold efficiency where water should flow. The story of rural America and rural regions worldwide is changing. Small towns shrink, tax bases erode, schools close, post offices consolidate, and hospitals shutter. Corporate investors, foreign buyers, and agricultural giants take over farms at auctions, buying for pennies what it took generations to build. For many, the question feels inevitable. Can family farming survive the rise of AgriCorp and the machines? The answer is yes, but survival will not look like the past. To thrive in the decades ahead, farmers must adapt, anticipate, and carve out paths that corporate giants overlook or can't profitably exploit. This is not nostalgia, it is strategy. Talking point number 1: understanding the pressures. Before plotting survival, we must name the threats. Land consolidation. Today, the largest 7% of U.S. farms already control more than 75% of cropland. By 2040, consolidation may accelerate as corporations deploy technology to operate tens of thousands of acres with minimal human oversight. For independent farmers, the competition is not just other families, but corporations backed by billions in capital. Automation and robotics. Self-driving tractors already plant, till, and harvest with minimal labor. Robotic dairy milkers, fruit packers, and weed zapping lasers reduce the need for seasonal crews. A corporate farm can replace hundreds of workers with machines, lowering labor costs that family farms cannot match at scale. Eroding rural infrastructure. Shrinking tax bases mean fewer services, closed schools, consolidated hospitals, and crumbling roads. Technology might optimize some costs, but rural communities still lose political leverage as populations shrink. Supply chain capture. Corporations control not just the land, but processing, distribution, and retail. Farmers who sell into commodity markets face squeezed margins and little bargaining power. Climate stress. There are irregular rains, droughts, floods, and shifting seasons that make farming very unpredictable. Large corporations can absorb these risks better than families. These forces create the silent fields: efficient, automated, corporate controlled, but stripped of people and culture. For survival, farmers must learn to step outside of this system. Talking point number 2, the path to survival. Specialization over commodities. AgriCorp wants corn, soy, wheat, and beef. They thrive on monocultures and standardized crops. But smaller farms can outmaneuver them by specializing in special fruits and vegetables that corporations find too small or too complex to dominate. You have heirloom crops like colored corn, heritage wheat, rare beans. You have direct market vegetables and fruit. You have medicinal and specialty plants like herbs, mushrooms, hemp. Then you also have pasture-based livestock with differentiated branding like grass-fed beef, heritage pork, and rationally grazed poultry. The key is small farmers cannot compete on volume, only on uniqueness, identity, and direct connection with the consumer. Direct to consumer relationships. The farmer of the future must master not just soil and seed, but story and sales. Resilient energy and infrastructure. Dependence on outside inputs is a vulnerability. A farmer who produces their own power, water, and fertility can weather storms better. You have solar, wind, or micro hydro for on-farm energy independence. Biogas digesters to turn manure into heat and electricity. You have rainwater harvesting and gray water recycling. You can compost items to close fertility loops instead of buying corporate fertilizer. Each step towards energy and nutrient sovereignty reduces reliance on corporations and volatile markets. Learning the machines without becoming them. If you ignore automation, you risk falling behind. But if you embrace it fully, you may drown in debt. But there is a middle path. You can invest in technology like drones for mapping and use different applications for irrigation control. And you can also work on small-scale automation that scales your labor without enslaving you to extra capital. Redefining family and community farming. The individual farm household is vulnerable, but federations of families, informal or formal co-ops, can share labor, machinery, distribution, and marketing. Imagine a group of 5 families pooling their dairy herds into one regenerative brand, or a dozen small farms running a joint online CSA platform. Regional food hubs where independent growers can come together and produce products that are complete and can compete on a corporate scale. Together, small farmers can wield a strength AgriCorp cannot replicate. Preparing right now, 2025 and onward. Short-term actions from the years 2025 to 2035. First, you need to audit vulnerabilities. Identify where you depend on corporate suppliers for fertilizer, seed, feed, fuel, and so on, and begin substituting as many of them as possible with local or regenerative alternatives. Diversify your production. Add a rare crop or livestock stream, even on a small scale. Hedge against the single commodity collapse. Adopt selective technology. Start with low-cost drones or soil sensors, but avoid crippling debt for high-end automation. Strengthen community ties. Network with other local farmers that are still around for shared marketing, bulk orders, or machinery pooling. Long-term actions, 2035 and beyond. Ensure your heirs can inherit the property without crippling debt. Have deep community integration. Farms may function as hubs for food, energy, and social life in hollowed-out rural landscapes. Create a resilience culture. Teach the next generation how to work with ecosystems, not just machines, and pass down the independence mindset.